Sean joins us now from Tucson. Welcome. Sean, let's start off. First of all, you have, and you will next week, at least three big time freshmen that opted for the NBA draft. So a lot of spots to fill on this roster, a lot of new faces, which is incredibly difficult under normal circumstances. Now you throw in a pandemic. How have you been able to navigate this with so many new faces amid unprecedented times?
Andy, first of all, can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay, great. Um, yeah, I think number one, obviously, like every coach that you're interviewing here today, you start with the health of everybody. The players certainly first, but your coaching staff and so many different people that are a part of your program. You're trying to be, on one hand, as careful as you can to do things collectively the right way, so that you put everybody in the best light to be healthy, with the COVID backdrop, et cetera. I think the second part, Andy, that's unique is because these guys, these players, have missed in essence 5 months. You start back in April and go through the summer, where it's just not typical. They're used to playing, they're used to being out on the court with 9 other people and in groups. And to take that away from them, I think we all kind of have a new starting point where, again, the other part of the health and safety is, to prepare them for a season ahead, but do it incrementally in the smartest way you can. And then I think, having said all that, everybody's so eager and excited to just play basketball, whether we have fans, whether we don't have fans, regardless, it's just, I think we all miss the competition and the practice environment. And so I think, like everybody on this call, we've tried at Arizona to balance all three of those layers and get ready for a season ahead in which we're all very excited about.
So I asked this of your peer up in Tempe because, like Bobby, you are very animated on the sidelines, but it's going to be different logistically. Mask, bench is going to be spread out. The officials are going to have to mask if they communicate with you or players. How do you anticipate all of that working in terms of your communication with your staff, with your players and officials?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on it. The one thing about being a coach, man, it's you can't fake who you are. You just there are things you grow and learn as the years go by. But for the most part, we're all wired a certain way. I think for us, though, what we've tried to do, and we're going to continue to do, is almost practice what's ahead of us. And that is, being able to communicate in a different way, being able to coach with masks, and really allow, even the people that are on the bench, the players, the staff, to be able to interact effectively, but being able to do it certainly under different circumstances. But that's sports, Andy. Sometimes, as much as you like to get off to a fast start in a big game, you find yourself down 8-0, right? As much as you plan all off season, you get injuries that just change everything. And I think part of what all of us have to do this year is adapt to COVID, adapt to the circumstances and the protocols that are ahead, and be the best that we can. And guess what? You can't complain or make excuses if we have to communicate in a different way, to your question's point, then we have to adjust and be ready to do that.
Sean, McHale is one of the best home courts in the country, regardless of conference affiliation. Who knows how many fans, if any fans, will ultimately be in that building. How do you make sure you still have some form of a home court advantage?
Wow. We've known for a long time that we're going to play without fans in McHale, or whatever it ends up being, very limited. But I really believe this, until we actually do it, until it's game day and you're out there, I don't think any of us really understand what that's going to feel like. Because practices, even though they're somewhat different right now, you're really going about your business on a daily basis the same way. But to replace 14,500 fans, because that's, as you know, I believe the accurate stat is we have led the Pac-10 and the Pac-12 in attendance for 35 years in a row. So you think about that. To take that fan base and crowd away from us, and then to take the actual game day away from them, it's a tough one. It really is. I think that more than anything, Andy, will be the biggest change for all of us. And again, we have to adjust. I don't know if there will be a home court, advantage at all, other than maybe the lack of travel. But it's something that I don't think any of us are really looking forward to. But these are our circumstances, and we have to be ready.
All right, last thing before I turn it over to Jesse. Most important position, you know it well. The point. Nico Mannion was very ball dominant. Who gets the basketball?
Well, we're fortunate. James Akinjo will be our point guard, and I know Jamal Baker is on this call. In a way, Jamal is a true combo guard. So when you look at us play, and there are times where Terrell Brown is a very good grad transfer from Seattle University, we could actually have 3 point guards on the court at one time for portions of the game, not the entirety. But James Akinjo, he's a very good player. And for us, especially, Andy, the fact that he has experience, he was the Big East Freshman of the Year at Georgetown. They don't give that award out to a guy who can't play. He's been in part of college basketball now for 2 years. He also was able to practice with us after Christmas and beyond. So he's more familiar with our system than somebody who's coming in for the first time. So he will be our point guard. But again, one of the things I like is that we have some flexibility and depth, and being able to play, in essence, 2 point guards in the game at one time. I think there's some real value in that.